The markets, the Nifty is still down close to around 85 points. Adani Ports is putting in a bit of a fight. The stock was trading in the red. It was down close to around 1%. It's moved marginally to the green, so Adani Ports should come up for you on the screen. Market still holding at around 11,400 approximately. How do you trade the Nifty from here? We have two guests with us in the studio, Prakash Kaba and Manav Chopra, who join us. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for coming down today. Prakash, you go first. What's the trade on the Nifty from here? Are you looking to buy into this dip that we're getting? And if yes, where does your stop loss come in at? Or would you be looking to sell the Nifty at some point of time?
Perhaps not buying the dip, but short covering possible, because the targets on the downside was 11,385, and if that goes, maybe 11,372. So this zone between 385 to 372 is a crucial support zone to work with. This is a place for short covering. Do you buy there? We buy there only if we see some strength or we see weakness reducing. That is not seen as yet. So far we are in the buy zone, yes, short covering zone. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, the target on the downside has been achieved. 29,039 was the target. We have seen somewhere closer to 50. So not much downside on Bank Nifty. But yes, this could be a place where shorts could be covered if you are short. Will you go buy? No idea.
And your picks?
Two stocks both on the long side. So perhaps buying is possible here. I like United Spirits. Looks like United Spirits is going up from here. Target on the upside is closer to around 543 zones. Stop below 523 should be fine. I also like UPL. UPL has shown some traction. The up move could continue. Target on the upside 980. Maybe in a couple of days 1000. Who knows? Stop below 953.
Manav, before I come to your index trade as well as your picks, any thoughts on Reliance Industries? Now, that has fallen quite a bit in the last few days from levels of 400. It's now down to nearly 300. What's the chart telling you?
See, the prices have already seen a good rally, and on the daily charts there were some patterns of exhaustion, which was primarily due to some weak momentum. I sense there could be some corrective decline coming into Reliance for the near-term perspective. The next immediate support for Reliance is around about 1280 on the immediate basis. So that could be the immediate support for the stock. Overall, the trend remains bullish, but this stock is overall a buy on dips approach. So 1280 to 1270 could be the levels that one can look to enter long positions.
And your other picks?
So I have two sell calls. I sense the markets could witness some sort of a decline in the near term. So my first sell call is on Jubilant FoodWorks. Basically, the prices have declined from its weekly support levels, and the momentum indicators have turned negative. Prices are also trading below its long-term averages. On the immediate basis, 1285 is the important resistance where we can expect some selling pressure, and the recent decline was accompanied by above average volume. So the short-term trend has reversed. So one can maintain a stop loss of 1292 on the upside. Expect lower targets of 1210. My second sell call is on Havells futures. Basically, the prices have breached its weekly support levels, and this breakdown has also accompanied by good amount of volumes. The momentum indicators in Havells have actually turned bearish after good 1.5 months. So we sense in the near term there could be some selling pressure. So a stop loss of 755 for Havells for lower targets of 695.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for coming down and giving us the trade on the Nifty as well as all those other trading strategies. Well, let's turn our attention to the globe then. Let's see how the European markets have opened up. Remember, in yesterday's trading session, all the three frontliners ended with cuts of around 1.5%. The banking stocks were under pressure, so we saw selling across the banks. Today, well, they've opened up more or less flattish with a bit of a positive bias. Remember, the DAX was reacting to weak German data as well coming in there. The orders data wasn't great, so that market took a particularly harder knock. So that one's opened up with a gain of around 0.2%. Not just that, yesterday we had some numbers that didn't look very, very good as well. So a whole host of companies that come out with set of numbers. BMW was dragging yesterday, was down close to around 4% as well. So safe to say, no incremental damage in terms of those European markets for the time being. On that note though, we'll slip into a short break. You come back, we'll continue with our earnings season coverage. Star Cement, that's the stock on our radar. Remember, the past quarter, the numbers were quite weak, but what's the outlook going ahead? We'll get chatting with Mr. Sanjay Gupta, the CEO of the company. Well, as promised, let's get chatting with the management of Star Cement. The stock is under some pressure today. Yesterday, in fact, the stock was sitting high with a gain of around 5%. It seemed that the street sniffed that the numbers weren't going to be too good. It seems that the street wants to hear what the management has to say, because suddenly the stock has moved up with a gain of around 2.5% on. Let's get chatting with Mr. Gupta, the CEO of the company. Hi, Mr. Gupta. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, the stock move is telling you the story. The last quarter was quite disappointing, primarily because of lower realizations. So before we get into the numbers, as of today, what are the average prices in comparison to what you got in the fourth quarter of last year?
Yes, Nigel, the prices in the fourth quarter and as of now, I will say there has been some increase in the prices, but that increase is going to be somewhere in the range of, depending on the range, it is around 5 to 10 rupees, which has gone up in the month of April. Specifically, and the prices in East has actually gone up. They have gone up by somewhere around 30 to 40 rupees, depending on which region we look at.
How much of your sales is, you normally sell in the Northeast? So if you could just give up the geographic breakup for Star Cement's point of view, what would be, your blended realizations if you had to declare numbers today in comparison to, the quarter 4 average? Because in East you're saying it's gone up by 30 rupees, otherwise it's gone up by 5 to 10 rupees. So give us some clarity.
See, our sales mix is, we are selling around 70% of our material in Northeast and 30% outside Northeast.
Okay.
So, and in terms of blended realization for the full year basis, I think this year our total blended realization was somewhere around 6,400 rupees a ton.
Okay. You said in the month of April, prices on an average have gone up by 5 to 10 rupees, though in the East it's been higher, 30 to 40 rupees. That's in the month of April. What's your expectation for the month of May and June?
Our expectation is that the prices in the East will continue to hold on at this level. We are not expecting any further price rise as far as the Northeast is concerned.
Okay.
Okay.
And the region where the prices have gone up by 30 rupees odd, how much of your sales is there?
As I said, Nigel, our sales outside Northeast, which is Bengal and Bihar primarily, we sell around 30%.
So 30%. So for 30% of your sales, you'll be getting a higher realization of maybe 25-30 rupees. For the remainder, that is what you're selling in Northeast, that should be around 10 rupees. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Your reading is correct.
Okay. Let's focus on the volumes then. What were the volumes in the past year? What did you wind up with? I think it was around 2.7 million tons.
Yes, we did around 2.7 million ton as compared to 2.4 million ton corresponding period last year.
Okay.
And we sold a little less clinker this year. We have sold 1,50,000 ton clinker as against 2 lakh ton last year.
And what about for FY20, your cement as well as clinker guidance?
See, we are expecting the cement volume to go up at least at the volume growth would be around 15%.
Okay.
We expect the clinker volume to be remaining somewhere around 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh tons.
Last time, so you said that you're expecting sales growth of 20%. Anything has changed?
See, actually, Nigel, we were looking at that the Siliguri unit is going to get commissioned. We are expecting it to start in the month of December. Earlier, we were expecting it to start somewhere in the month of November. So probably now the estimate is that we are going to start in the month of December.
Month of December. So you're being conservative and you're saying 15% at least you'll do.
Yes, we are looking at it. This is a conservative guidance, definitely. Okay. If the Siliguri unit, we are in a position to gear up that unit a little earlier, I think there will be an upside movement in the overall quantity of sales.
What is your current fuel mix? How much coal are you using? What was the cost of coal in Q4 versus Q3?
The cost of coal for Star Cement in Q4 has actually gone up by around 100 rupees per ton. We have earlier we used to get coal from Meghalaya, so ratio was around 80-20. So 80% was Meghalaya coal and 20% was imported, and fuel supply FSA agreements with the northeastern coalfield and coalfields in eastern India. But now most of the coal is being imported. There is an impact in this quarter, the impact is around 100 rupees per ton. But we expect going forward in next full financial year, there will be a further 100 rupees kind of an impact, which is going to come on fuel cost.
Oh, all right. So that will hurt your EBITDA then?
Yeah, it looks that yes, definitely there will be an impact on EBITDA. But overall, I think the kind of volume growth we are looking at it, we hope that we will be able to make up that.
Mr. Gupta, Mr. Gupta, you're saying that you used to earlier source bulk of your coal from Meghalaya. Now, in fact, you're sourcing it from outside, right? But there was a mining ban in in Meghalaya. So, how are you sourcing it currently? As of now, is everything being imported?
Yes, I'll say that there is the imports are almost around 80%.
Oh.
We are still getting some coal from our fuel supply agreement with Northeastern Coalfield and Coalfield. We're also buying coal from auction from Eastern Coalfield. But overall, the impact is going to be there because of the imported coal being utilized there.
Just one final question from my end. What was the EBITDA per ton in Q4, even for FY19 on the whole, and your expectation for FY20?
See, the full year EBITDA for this year was 1,590 rupees. For the quarter, it was 1,550 rupees. We expect that the EBITDA margins to be at this level only, even if there will be some pressure from the cost increases in coal. We hope that the volume growth will take care of the cost increase, and we'll be able to pass on this cost increase.
Okay, all right, Mr. Gupta. Interesting times then. The sales outside Northeast are giving you higher realization, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that front. And as you said, 1,550 to 1,600 rupees per ton is what you're looking at. And in terms of the sales volumes growth, 15% at least is what you're telling us. The stock, let's see a bit of a bounce up, but now in fact it's more or less flattish. Remember, volume's not very, very high, but the last quarter wasn't that great. Going by that commentary, Q1 and FY20 should be much better. Well, on that note, we'll slip into a short break. You come back, we'll continue our focus on the markets and a whole host of stocks. We'll also get you some excerpts of the exclusive conversation we had with US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Stay with us.